Hi, everyone, and welcome in. Today, I think we're going to tackle one of the most important fundamental aspects of computers, which is binary and the bits and bytes of it. So, let's break into it. What is binary? Binary is the sequencing of ones and zeros that computers use to send information. You use it when you're opening up Microsoft Word, Excel spreadsheets, sending emails, streaming YouTube, playing video games. It's all about ones and zeros and how your computer processes them, how fast your computer processes them, so on and so forth. All right, well, let's break into it. How can we think about these ones and zeros? One, if you really want to think about it this way, you can think of as on, true, or energized, right? As in, like, it's receiving voltage. And zero we can think of as off, false, or not energized. So when we're talking about 1 or 0, like we have this gigantic sequence of 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. When we're just talking about 1 and 0 in that whole sequence, those individual things are known as bits. B-I-T-S, bits. So individually they are known as bits. Well, if I'm trying to represent something and I'm only using one bit, a 0 or a 1, I don't really have a lot of choices. I have exactly two choices, whether that is 0 or 1, true or false. I only get two choices. So in the grand scheme of operating a computer system, when you only have two choices, you're very, very reduced in like how many calculations you can do and how many things you can do. So what a group of really smart people did was, hey, we need more choices. And they grouped 8 of these together. 8 bits were grouped together, just like this over here, to create a byte. So a sequence of 8 bits. Don't pay attention to the ones and zeros. Just understand that there's 8 is 1 byte. So the ones and zeros, depending on what configuration they're in this 8-bit sequence to make 1 byte, represents different things. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's go over here and check this out. So I got a little chart here that we can pull up from online. And let's just look at the character capital A. All right. We can see in the binary code we have 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. And if you count those, that's 8 bits to create the byte for capital A. And in addition to this, we have what's called ASCII, A-S-C-I-I, which is the American Standard Code for Information Exchange. A group of really smart people came together and was like, you're making computers, I'm making computers. We need to have this standardization in place so our computers can talk the same language. Because if you have 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 represent something, and then I have 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 represent something else, things might get confused. All right, so they came together and created this standardization, which is really awesome, and I'm grateful for that. So let's open this back up real quick, actually. And if you want to be a superstar, just for fun, why don't you try spelling your name in binary in the comment section? That would be really interesting. So we got our capital letters, and then we have our lowercase letters, and then we have our special characters. So next, you might be thinking just like me, like, hey, if we have 8 different characters and we only have 2 choices, how many total possibilities are there? And that's a great question. So if you think about 1 or 0 as 2 choices, and then we have 8 different bits in our byte, we can think of it as 2 times 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 2. So 2 times itself 8 times. Another way of writing that is 2 to the 8th power. All right, just 2 multiplied by itself 8 times. And that gives us a grand total of 256 different possibilities. So 256 different bytes with the 8-bit system. And another thing to know is that this system is called the base 2 system because 2 is the base. We have 2 different choices between 1 or 0, and 2 is the base. So moving on from that, I'm sure everybody has been on Steam or PlayStation, something of that nature, and you're looking at the size of the game. And I have a neat little chart to take a look at that represents that as well. So we just talked about bits going into bytes, but what's after that? So we can see at the top of our cybersecurity pyramid of doom, we have bytes at the top represented by capital B. And then the next order of magnitude for measuring data is the kilobyte, which is represented by lowercase k and capital B. And I'll show some math about it here in a second. It's not too hard to understand. And in a kilobyte, there is 1,000 bytes. Next, we move up to megabyte, represented by a capital M and a capital B, and there's 1,000 kilobytes in a megabyte. Moving up, we have the gigabyte. Same thing, 1,000 megabytes are in the gigabyte. And finally, we end here with terabyte, which has 1,000 gigabytes. Now for funsies, I remember from Steam, at least when I played it a long time ago, Grand Theft Auto, at that point, it's probably a lot more now, was 156 gigabytes. Well, let's make a big number. How many bits, how many ones and zeros are in the entire game of Grand Theft Auto at 156 gigabytes back in the day? And I might be misremembering it. I could double check Steam to do that, but I don't want to. So 156 gigabytes, how many bits are in there? Well, what we do is we take 156 gigabytes, and we know that there are 1,000 megabytes in there. And then we know there's 1,000 kilobytes in there. And then we know there's 1,000 bytes. But we can't forget that there's also 8 bits in there as well. So if you look at it, we're taking 156 gigabytes times 1,000 megabytes times 1,000 kilobytes times 1,000 bytes times 8 bits. Well, we have what's called the commutative property when we're doing multiplication. So I can take 8 and multiply it into 156. Let's do that. So we have 156 times 8. We have 48. So we have 40 plus 4, so 44. Then we multiply 8 there. We get 8 plus 4, which is 12. And then we can add our zeros. Super easy. We have 3 zeros here. We have 3 zeros here. And then we have 3 zeros here. Let's throw those commas in there. And then we have the hundreds, the 100,000s, the millions, and then we have billion, and then we have trillion. So we have 1,248 billion bits in Grand Theft Auto if we're talking about 156 gigabytes. All right, find your favorite game that you have enjoyed the most. And for fun, find out how many bits are in there. But I think that's where we're going to wrap up today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, toss them in the comments. I really look forward to seeing some binary written in there. And if you'd rather, I'd really like to see how many bits are in your favorite game and what your favorite game is. All right, well, have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one.